It sure sounds from the president's speech that we are.
I think that's the wrong terminology. What we are doing is engaging in a very significant counterterrorism operation. And it's going to go on for some period of time. If somebody wants to think about it as being a war with ISIL, they can do so. But the fact is, it's a major counterterrorism operation that will have many different moving parts.
That was Secretary of State John Kerry yesterday to Elise Labott. He sure stirred up plenty of criticism by refusing to say the U.S. is at war with ISIS. And today, the Obama administration desperately trying to talk itself out of that mess.
Make no mistake, we know we are at war with ISIL in the same way we are at war and continue to be at war with al-Qaeda and its affiliates.
The United States is at war with ISIL in the same way that we are at war with al-Qaeda and its al-Qaeda affiliates all around the globe.
And former Congressman Alan West joins us. Good evening, sir. And what's the problem? What do you think is the problem that Secretary of State John Kerry didn't want to use the word war? And now today, of course, everyone's trying to do the two-step to pretend. Now they're saying it is war.
Good evening, Greta. And I think the problem is they have a serious issue understanding that words have meaning when it comes to military operations, tactics, and terminology. When you talk about degrading, that means a specific capability or capacity of an enemy. When you talk about destroying, that means you completely eliminate that threat. And so the difference is that when you say that you're going to prosecute a war, that means that you have to have several different phases. You have to have a deployment phase. You have to have shaping operations. You have to have a decisive operation. You have to have a pursuit operation, especially if you're talking about destroying. But from a political aspect, I think that the Obama administration does not want to go to Congress. They don't want to have the vote there before Congress. And furthermore, they want to try to manage this on their own without having a full declaration of war.
Well, you know, it seems to me that if you are at war, you have a justification for killing. If you're not at war and you start killing people, exactly what are you doing? And when people have made a statement that they're trying to kill you, and ISIS has, you know, it seems really obvious that, you know, they're at war with us. And if we're not going to rise the level of calling it war, what are we just sort of like managing it like you manage a grocery store or something? I mean, what are we doing?
Well, you're exactly right. And consider what happened on December the 7th of 1941 at Pearl Harbor. You know, we realized that Japan had declared war on us, and we in turn declared war on them. We did not sit back and say, well, we're going to try to find the pilots who dropped the bombs on Battleship Row and bring the pilots to justice. So when you talk about a counterterrorism operation or a counterterrorism strategy, we just learned today that the CIA has said that ISIS is now anywhere from 20,000 to 31,500 members. That's an army. That's the equivalent of almost 3 combat infantry divisions in the United States military. That's not a counterterrorism operation. You have to go to war in order to be able to defeat that enemy and destroy that enemy. And furthermore, you can't do it from 30,000 feet with just air power.
Well, you know, it seems to me that if they're not going to use the word war, it sends one of two messages to me. Either A, they have an uncertain goal, which is terrifying, you know, that they don't know what we're, you know, that they don't know exactly what we're doing. I mean, we need a goal. Or B, that it's political and that it reverts back to 2008 when President Obama didn't want to be the war president, which probably is even more terrifying that we're, you know, that our whole foreign policy and national security is dependent on a campaign slogan in 2008.
No, you're exactly right, and it's both of them. When you understand that the president, being such an intransigent ideologue, did not want to listen to the counsel of his generals about leaving a residual force of 15,000 to 20,000, that he saw himself as an anti-war president that wanted to end all operations, end everything we were doing in Iraq. These are the residual effects, and he is not willing to understand that, you know, it's not about politics. The enemy has a vote, and the enemy has cast his vote, and he's still trying to play a political game, and especially being concerned about the midterm elections instead of being concerned about the safety and security of the United States of America.
We only have 30 seconds, but at the same time, we also have to make it safe for a president to, based on different circumstances, to change his or her mind. I don't know if it'll be a her, but you understand. I mean, you know, like we can't keep hanging people for something they said years ago. You know, we need to, almost like the Foley say, you know, we got to look at what we have and look ahead.
Well, the thing is, we want a president that can be adaptive to the situation. And as we say in the military, no plan, no strategy survives first contact. So we're looking for that. But we also have things that are in place, such as command and control procedures. We have General Allen, who has been a retired Marine general, now is in charge of this operation. So what does that say to the Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Dempsey, and the Central Command commander?
We only, I mean, right now I'm going to take us a little bit too long, but why do we have, like, I mean, a retired guy doing it? Shouldn't we have, like, a current guy doing it?
Well, yes, you have that command and control structure. And so what is it? What is the operational control of this counterterrorism or this war that you're having? You have a chairman, Joint Chiefs. You have a central command combatant commander. So now you have interjected someone, a retired general. What's his place in this, and who reports to him?
Congressman, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Greta.
And in this time of great